Hi everyone, thank you for joining me for today's video. My name is Lena. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. So in this video, we're going to take a look at the new Victoria Beckham Eye Wardrobe Orchid shade. So this is a new color story and it will be my second Victoria Beckham eyeshadow palette ever since she reformulated her palettes. So I didn't love the Cocoa palette. I thought it was just fine, but I had other palettes that perform better than Cocoa and with the similar shades. But I think the color story of this Orchid eye palette is really interesting, and it was kind of misleading because the promo photo kind of features this palette as a more cool toned one, and I myself thought it would be much cooler than what it is. In real life, it has two cool toned shades, the middle shade, the Orchid Pink, and the Plum shade. They are ended quite cool, but the metallic shade is more like a neutral, has a little bit of pinky tone to it, but the base, the shimmer lightest ivory shade is definitely leaning a little bit warm. So depending on how you place them and how much you use each shade, or how you pair this eyeshadow palette with other stuff that you use for your makeup look, I think it can be very versatile. So for that, I really like this eye palette. I would say better than the Cocoa palette. And when it comes to the formula, I think it's really nice. It performs really nicely. I have no real complaint. I think it's quite great, especially for a talc-free eyeshadow formula. But also, I am not wowed by it. I somehow think it could be better. So basically, I would say I feel the same way as I felt about the Cocoa palette, but it's really nice, and I like the color story better than the formula itself. I would say that because it's versatile. I mean, if the shimmer base shade was a little bit cooler, if it had some orchid pink kind of shift to it, it would have been amazing. But also because of this color is on the warmer side, and that provides some sort of versatility. And this is a small quad, and having a versatility using just one eyeshadow quad is always a great thing. So I think they aced it in terms of the color story. But formula, I like it, but I am not blown away. So that's my brief review on this new Orchid eye palette from Victoria Beckham. So now I'd like to show you two different makeup looks, and one would be warm leaning and the other one is more cool toned makeup look. And I also briefly like to review and demonstrate how the new base makeup that I've been using, the Hermes foundation and Make Beauty skin tint, and also the Chanel concealer a little bit. So you will see that in my demonstration, but first let me show you some swatches. I have applied my sunscreen that has a little bit of color correcting properties, and now I'd like to show you something that is new. I have Make Beauty Radiant Skin Tint. It's called Diffusion Dew. I have the shade 01. I also have their popular concealer here. These were sent by Make Beauty, and they also sent me a couple of eyeshadows. I like them quite a bit, but I didn't think they were groundbreaking. But I am really impressed by these base product, and especially because the skin tint reminds me of the Victoria Beckham foundation drop so much, but this is actually better in my book because the color match is great, and it's kind of like a similar hydrating, very dewy, moisturizing kind of formula, but this doesn't smell bad, and this one actually lasts on me in a better way. So I wouldn't say this is super long lasting or a very high coverage foundation, but This one gives me really nice natural enough coverage, and this stays on quite prettily, you know, compared to the Victoria Beckham, and it comes in a gloss, more luxe packaging, and price is much more reasonable. So I'd like to show you this one in action. So I'm going to just pump once and apply this on my face. It's very light, liquidy kind of formula. And I'm gonna use Refer LC Brush 03. This has been working with almost all liquid foundation that I have, especially the new Hermes foundation. This has been really working nicely with that formula, but pretty much with anything. It's really dewy, pretty foundation. Now I'm going to apply this concealer mostly in the center of my eyes where I need more coverage. This concealer is kind of unique in my big concealer collection. This also has a very dewy finish, and I would say it has a medium coverage. I have the lightest shade. This is so dewy and fresh formula, so I can just use it more liberally. I think you can use this all over on your face too. Now I'm going to use Refer LC Brush number 2. This one works really nicely with cream blush or liquid blush, but also when I apply concealer, you know, on the larger area, really nice. I didn't like their first protocol when they first introduced liquid and cream brushes. I believe this is the 3rd generation, and I think these are so much better. No prickliness, very soft. I don't really feel any irritation. You can probably tell these are very hydrating formulas, both the skin tint and the concealer, and I really like it because it stays really comfortable throughout the day on the skin, and it lasts pretty well. And because I like matte base to start with, I'm going to use a loose powder and set this makeup, so it's gonna look more matte, but subtle radiance will peek through. So let me just apply some loose powder. I'll be right back. Now onto the eye look. This time I'm going to create warmer neutral eye look using all 4 shades. So starting with this ivory shimmer shade, I'm going to use this as a base color. Using a flat eyeshadow brush, this is Wayne Goss E4. I'm going to apply this warm neutral shade in the center of my lids. This is actually quite pigmented and creamy. So this is like a taupe color but has a hint of pink. Using a small detail brush, I'm going to use this plum shade on the inner corners and also outer corners to create depth. This one is very pigmented and blends very nicely, but I find it fades a little bit. So I'm just packing this on. Going back to this ivory shimmer shade, I'm gonna blend this out one more time. So this creates quite a warm eye look. And this time, using a small flat brush, I'm going to apply this violet orchid shade along my lower lash lines. I don't have the Orchid eyeliner from Victoria Beckham, but I have Dior Pearly Amethyst, which I see pretty close to that orchid shade. And this one is a little bit shimmery, so I'm going to add this on my lower lash lines. And this is pretty much the eye look. Not too cold, it's a slightly warm leaning, neutral, soft, smoky eyes, I would say. So I really like the look. It's not as cold, but still very pretty, wearable. I will add some black eyeliner and mascara. I'll be right back. I am back. On my cheeks, I'm gonna apply Victoria Beckham Bronzing Bricks, and I have the lightest shade. I will mix these two shades together. On the lips, I'm going to wear Victoria Beckham Lipstick Sway shade. This is mauvey pink, and I think it goes really nicely with that orchid pink in the palette. So this is the first makeup look that I came up with using the Orchid palette, warmer, a little bit more neutral kind of look. Now I'm going to remove this makeup and demonstrate my second look that will be a little bit cooler than this. I'll be right back. In my second look, I also like to showcase the new Hermes foundation. I have the shade 07N. I initially ordered the lightest shade and went to Nordstrom to pick it up. Then I got to test the shades at the counter, and the lightest shade was a little too light, and 07 is just right. And what's interesting about their shade range is that it's same as the matte foundation system. So N is for neutral undertones, obviously, and W is actually for the cool toned, and C is for warm toned. So just mind that. And I really like this foundation. I think the shade match is really great and it looks really pretty on the skin. And this one is a little bit fussy. It's not one of those, you know, whatever you do, it's gonna work out, slapdash kind of foundation. For me, it's the right tool for this foundation. So when I use my go-to sponge applicator with this foundation, I don't really get a good result. But you know, good foundation brush, the Refer LC brush, for example, works really nicely. I also got a sample of the primer from the counter, so I've been using this quite a bit on and off. And this is a very nice foundation primer. If you have oily skin, I would consider getting this. It does work really nicely with the foundation, but if you have normal to dry skin, I don't think this will make a material difference that it's a must-have. It is a very lightweight, you know, blurring silicone-based primer, and I think it does work for longevity, but for me it's not a must. But you know, by itself the foundation works really nicely, and I think at some point Hermes will bring out a sort of concealer, I'm sure, but also their website currently suggests that if you need more coverage, you can add a little bit more. So that means the foundation is buildable. But since we're at it, I'll also show how the Chanel, you know, Ultra Le Tan foundation, you know, concealer works on my skin as well. So for me, with the brush, I think I would need 1.5 pumps. And this does not set too quickly, so it gives me a little bit of time to work with. It is fragranced, and for some reason I don't really mind this fragrance. This is like a fresh floral, something like you know, the fragrance that I smell from their blush, for example. The primer is also fragranced. So this covers really well, and the finish is really pretty. And it does feel matte, more matte compared to, you know, something with skincare ingredient like Sublimage, but it does feel very comfortable on the skin throughout the day. I don't feel that 4 o'clock tightness around my U-zone, so it's a very good thing. So that's 1.5 pump, evenly spread it out on my face using this brush. So let me show you the Chanel concealer really quickly. I have 2 shades. I have BD01 and BR02. Both work really nicely for me. BR02 I prefer to use with my Sublimage foundation, which is B10. And BD01 is generally speaking my Chanel foundation shade. So this works really well generally. And this Ultra Le Tan concealer has a very thin, you know, flexible, stretchy kind of formula, but it sets quickly. So I recommend working with this rather quickly if you have to, just one side at a time. So I'm going to use PD01, adding just a little bit in the center. It's a really beautiful formula. And I'll show you my Prada concealer in a different concealer. I think that one is nice. I don't really see a point, you know, comparing these two formulas because they work really differently, at least for me. But if I have to pick one, I would definitely pick this Chanel concealer. But the Prada concealer works exceptionally well when I wear it with my Prada foundation. So there's that. So hopefully now you can see I have a little bit more coverage in the center of my face. It's very natural, undetectable, but also perfecting. I love this formula. This lasts on me all day. So let me powder my face and I'll be right back. Now let's create some cool tone dialogue using the Orchid palette. So I'm going to leave out this warm neutral ivory shade and start with this Orchid pink shade. This one is matte and works really nicely. It's quite pigmented for what it is. I would say it's a medium shade that would work as a main shade or a blending shade. This has really nice blurring effect as well. Using a smaller packer brush, I'm going to apply this deep plum shade, mostly on my mobile lids. So this one has a very sparse shimmer, but it's not very visible, and in reality this is also a matte shade. So because I layer the pink orchid shade first, this one is blending even better. But I'm gonna pack a little bit more on the outer corners. Switching brushes, this is Refer pencil brush. I'm going to pack the same color on the outer corners. Using a small crease brush from Refer, I'm going to add a little bit more of this orchid shade and blend out one more time. So I think you can definitely stop here. This is all matte, very pretty, kind of smoky, but a pinky, cool-toned eye look. Now I like to add some plum eyeliner on my lower lash lines. This is Guerlain Plum Peony. This one is really beautiful and interesting shade. Now adding this metallic shade along my lower lash lines, blending it with the eyeliner. This is so pretty. I think this is a very pretty cool-toned eye look as is, but I felt like I need an outside help to make it really cool. So I am going to add a little bit of the Dior Luminizer in the shade Blue Stroke. This one looks amazing on the eyes as well. I think this transforms the eye look completely. Such a beautiful shade. I would highly recommend this highlighter shade. I think I like this better on the eyes than on the cheeks. And there's some cool-toned bluish shade from the backstage line as well. I much prefer this formula. So that's the eye look. I'm going to add some eyeliner on the upper lash lines and mascara. I'll be right back. I am back. I just realized that I applied my blush with the camera off. So let me just show you quickly what I'm wearing on my cheeks. This is limited edition Dior blush color called Signature. It's a very light pale pink with blue sheen. So hopefully you can see the blue sheen on the cheeks. And this one goes really nicely with that highlighter that I placed on my eyes. On my lips, I'm going to apply this Givenchy Lip Gloss Balm formula. This is shade number 011. And to me, this is the quintessential grape juice lip color. And I might say this is a Vampire Girls, a school day lip color. So pretty, and the formula is really hydrating and comfortable on the lips. And this is the second makeup look. I really hope you enjoy these makeup demos and my mini reviews on the foundation as well. Let me know what you think about this new Orchid eyeshadow palette from Victoria Beckham, how you like it. I would love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching this video and spending your time with me. As always, I really appreciate it. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you can. I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye.